Welcome back to the channel, guys. The internet is a dangerous place, and many persons usually take what they see or hear or read on the internet as gospel. You should not. You understand? Many things on the internet are salacious, are malicious, and some persons just love attention. Case in point, an article went viral recently titled CIA agent or former CIA agent confessed on deathbed to killing Bob Marley. The article was sent to me by many persons. I did not review it. Many persons have reviewed it. Powers to them. You understand what I say? When I first read the article, it just came across to me as something that was fictitious. I could be wrong, mind you, right? I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to dissect the article, and I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. However, we're seeing now where representative of Bob Marley's estate have been contacted and they have refused to comment on the article. Bob Marley reps silent on story that CIA agent killed him. Representatives of Bob Marley are refusing to comment on a story being circulated online relating to the death of the reggae legend. Reggae fans were sent into a frenzy recently when a report surfaced of an alleged confession from former CIA agent Bill OXLEY, in which he admitted to injecting Marley with a cancer virus which eventually killed the singer. The story has since gone viral on social media, which caught the eye of several entertainers including R&B singer Chris Brown and dancehall artist Spragga Benz. Meanwhile, the Redemption Singers reps says Marley's estate is aware of the story. However, they refuse to comment at this time. Bob Marley was diagnosed with acral lentiginous melanoma in 1977 and died on May 11, 1981 in Miami at age 36. So I decided to do some research. I decided to start digging because people, I want a particular direction for my channel, and I prefer always to deal with facts. Sometimes you get some article and you have to go with faith, but you don't go with fake. If you get what I mean. So we make mistakes from time to time, but I try to limit my mistakes as best as is possible. So I started doing some digging, and the publishers of the article is a website called Newswire. You understand? And that website has been found wanting many a times, and I've been found guilty of publishing many articles that are fake. Fake news. The article is a fake because the man in it, which they claim is Bill OXLEY, a 79-year-old retired CIA agent who allegedly killed Bob Marley, is actually a photo model who works for a Polish microstock photography company. Bob Marley died of brain cancer in May 1981, but a conspiracy theory has emerged in the ensuing decades that the CIA infected the reggae singer with cancer 5 years earlier. In November 2017, the disreputable website Your Newswire, which has a history of publishing fake articles and sensationalist clickbait, added a new twist. So peeps, a summary of what that article had to say goes as follows. The article stated that a 79-year-old retired CIA agent, Bill OXLEY, made a series of stunning confessions after he was admitted to the Mercy Hospital in Maine and told he had only weeks to live. According to the article, OXLEY first confessed that the shooting of Bob Marley in Kingston, Jamaica in 1976 was a CIA assassination attempt, and then said that the agent himself had followed up on it by tricking the singer into injecting himself with cancer viruses and bacteria. According to Mr. OXLEY, he used press credentials to gain access to Bob Marley during his Blue Mountains retreats. He introduced himself as a famous photographer working for the New York Times and gave Bob Marley a gift. I gave him a pair of Converse All-Stars, size 10. When he tried on the right shoe, he screamed out, "Ouch!" That was it. His life was over right there and then. The nail in the shoe was tainted with cancer viruses and bacteria. If it pierced his skin, which it did, it was a good night, nurse. Please, as I said, it is not the first time that Newswire would have published articles, or other websites for that matter, that are just not true. You understand? These are a couple of those articles that have gone viral that turned out to be just total stupidness in the past. A few of the fake news websites that published the fake article also published the following articles which we know are not true. Beyonce caught shape-shifting in front of celebs at Serena Williams' wedding. Jay-Z caught shape-shifting on United Airlines flight to LAX. NASA confirms Earth has a second moon. Gasless cows could help cool the atmosphere, UN report. Facebook shuts down robots who invent their own language. Mr. Bill OXLEY, who they claim to have shared the story, would have also detailed in that article the 1976 assassination attempt on Bob Marley at his Hope Road residence in Jamaica. In 1976, Bob Marley survived an assassination attempt by 3 gunmen at his home in Hope Road in Jamaica. Just 5 years later, he was taken down by malignant melanoma originating in his store. On the 3rd of December 1976, gunmen shot up Marley's home on Hope Road in Kingston, Jamaica, injuring the singer, his wife Rita, and his manager Don Taylor. The assailants were never formally identified or brought to justice. However, some people in Marley's entourage believe the attackers were connected to Edward Seaga. According to an account by Vivian Goldman, a journalist who knew Marley and was his publicist during the 70s. At the time, tensions were rising between a faction supportive of Jamaica's Prime Minister Michael Manley and his Socialist People's National Party, who were sympathetic to Fidel Castro's Cuba, and Edward Seaga and his Conservative Jamaica Labour Party, who were sympathetic to the United States. So the article would have gotten the attempted assassination correct. Yeah, there was an attempt at Bob Marley, and his manager at the time, Don Taylor, his wife Rita, and himself were injured. Fortunately, none of them lost their lives. You understand? But these are some of the details surrounding Bob Marley's death, and we're talking about what is known and out there in the public now. I would like to say the facts. As with the death of many music stars, Marley's passing has been shrouded in mystery, unanswered questions and conspiracy theories. But what actually happened? Where and when did Bob Marley die? Marley died at the Cedars of Lebanon Hospital in Miami on May 11, 1981. What was the cause of Marley's death? Marley died from an acrolentigenous melanoma, a form of skin cancer which had been diagnosed in 1977, spreading from under a nail of his toe. How had his disease spread? Bob first discovered the melanoma during a game of football in 1977 when a foot injury seemed unusually bad and worsened over time. When doctors discovered the cancer, he was advised to have his toe amputated, but refused as his Rastafarian faith considers it a sin to have part of the body removed. He did consent to a skin graft, but this didn't stop the disease spreading throughout his body by the summer of 1980. Having collapsed while jogging in Central Park during his first tour, Marley played his last ever gig in Pittsburgh in September 1980 before cancelling all remaining live dates and flying to Germany for a controversial diet-based treatment under Joseph Issels. After 8 months, the treatment proved unsuccessful and Marley boarded a plane home to Jamaica. On the flight, his condition worsened and he was rushed to hospital on arrival in Miami, where he died on May 11, 1981. Are there any conspiracy theories surrounding Bob Marley's death? Yes, many. The most prevalent theory is that due to his growing political stature in Jamaica, Marley was murdered by the CIA. It suggested that they were behind the attempted assassination at his Hope Road residence. Having failed to kill him, went about more surreptitious means to see him off. It is said that Carl Colby, the son of late CIA director William Colby, later gave Marley a pair of boots, and when Bob tried them on, a radioactive copper wire inside pricked his toe, causing the cancer. There are also stories that Issels was an ex-SS officer working with the CIA to poison Marley. So that Newswire article leaves a lot to be desired. They did not quote any form of reputable source, and nowhere else can these allegations that were made be corroborated or located. Your Newswire does not provide a single source for the story, despite including extensive quotes from the supposedly dying OXLEY. The site also has a history of writing false articles, including ones about deathbed confessions from CIA agents. I mean, it's not the first. There are no records of Bill or William OXLEY having any association with the CIA, and neither his name, the quotes attributed to him, nor the basic facts of the Newswire story are corroborated anywhere else. Please remember, I said, I could be the one who is wrong here and Newswire could be right. However, I have my doubts. I am still going to punch some more holes in their article. You understand? However, not only Newswire, but former manager of Bob Marley, Don Taylor, was also of the opinion that the CIA had plotted to assassinate Bob Marley. So, could Newswire be right? There were reports in the 1970s that the CIA was active in Jamaica, that they attempted to destabilize Marley's government in 1976, and even that they considered assassinating him. The agency has denied those claims. I mean, they would. Don Taylor, who was Bob Marley's manager, also claimed that the CIA had plotted to assassinate his client, but this conclusion appears to be based solely on the belief that the son of a prominent CIA official had infiltrated a film crew at the December 1976 music festival. In his memoir, Marley and Me, Taylor wrote, "As a sequel, I would later find out that among the crew hired to come to Jamaica was the son of a prominent CIA official who had traveled under an alias. This information convinced me that the CIA had been behind the plot to kill Bob Marley because of his possible influence on Jamaican politics and on the wider world." According to the theory, a mysterious American man visited Marley as he prepared for the concert, which was to take place on the 5th of December. The man reportedly gave Marley a pair of shoes, and when the singer tried on one of them, his toes was pricked by a copper wire or a nail. I could not sit here and definitively state to you that the CIA has not been guilty of operating in the Caribbean and plotting to assassinate Caribbean leaders for political or whatever reasons. You understand what I say? Because it is well documented that the CIA has carried out operations in the region before. Throughout the Caribbean and Central America, more broadly, the CIA is known to have been involved in political assassinations and regime changes, in particular in Honduras and Nicaragua, and the islands of Jamaica and Cuba are only a couple of 100 miles apart. So the prospect of the CIA seeking to establish Jamaica as a bulwark against Soviet and Cuban influence in the region by neutralizing the populist folk hero Bob Marley, who was historically sympathetic to the socialist Michael Manley, is not inconceivable. However, there is a lack of concrete proof linking the CIA to either the shooting of Marley or the cancer that eventually killed him. When I went through, I kind of sit down on my thing. I mean, was weaponizing cancer a thing in the 1970s? Many persons will say yes, but I don't know. Claims of weaponized cancer infections are part of a broader, long-running discussion about targeted assassination by intelligence agents in the United States and elsewhere. Most prominently, some adherents claim that the CIA was responsible for the cancer which claimed the life of Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez in 2013. It might be possible to externally induce cancer in another person by infecting them with a virus known to cause cancer. Marley developed skin cancer in his foot, which subsequently metastasized and developed into the brain cancer that eventually killed him. And it is conceivable that intentionally infecting a person with an immune-compromising virus such as HIV could possibly cause them to develop skin cancer. At the end of the day, as I'm saying, I mean, who knows what the real story is? But the fact of the matter is that that Newswire article is fake. I mean, there have been many theories and conspiracies surrounding the death of Bob Marley down the years. It is public knowledge. Anybody can sit down and put all of them things together and put it off on somebody. You understand me? I said? The fact of the matter is that the person who they claim to have interviewed and who made those quotes in relation to Bob Marley, Bill OXLEY, 79-year-old retired CIA agent, it wasn't him. However, it is questionable whether this would be likely to be used as an assassination method. Firstly, the precise mechanisms of infecting someone with cancer are uncertain, meaning the desired end result, death caused by cancer, would be far from assured. And while the ultimate cause of death, cancer, would certainly have the benefit of preventing suspicions, it can take years for a person to die from cancer. This would undermine one of the principal purposes of an assassination, to quickly stop an individual doing or saying something. As implausible as the show plot might seem, the CIA is known to have made a number of unorthodox political assassination attempts against Fidel Castro in particular. Whether or not there was anything more to Bob Marley's death than natural causes, and there is no solid evidence to the contrary, it can certainly be stated that the CIA agent named Bill OXLEY did not confess while on his deathbed in Maine to assassinating the singer. The more and more I understand how YouTube works and the runnings of YouTube and how people in general operate, I know that people love a conspiracy. You understand? People love formulation. People will take fiction over facts any day. But I will prefer to work with facts than fiction or assumption or speculations or conspiracy. any day of the week. You understand what I say? And as I'm saying before, I cannot tell you that there is no truth to the CIA wanting to kill Bob Marley. All I'm saying is that based on the evidence here, this article was fake. You understand what I say? And the truth of the matter, and I'm going to say something very controversial now. We want to blame people for Bob Marley's death. And I am thinking, see, and you can chide me about it. If anybody is to be blamed for Bob Marley's death, it's Bob Marley himself and his Rastafarian faith. Zane, if you find out that there's cancer in your toe, and in order to contain that cancer, to get rid of it, is to amputate your toe, why not do it? So why then no, Bob Marley decided not to do that, then we have blamed everybody, he, she and the old lady for Bob Marley's death. If you want to blame somebody for Bob Marley's death, blame Bob Marley and his Rastafarian faith. That is my take on the story. You understand me? I say, Newswire, sort out to myself. I'm gone. This video was made possible through the continued generosity of my patrons. To become a patron, follow the link in the description below. Thank you for watching the video. Drop a like and a comment down below, and consider subscribing if you haven't done so as yet. Until next time, walk good.